Alright, let's talk about it. Can you believe that now almost 16 years ago Coraline was first released? This movie helped build childhood joy or horror. You know, it wasn't the most kid movie of kid movies.
You dare disobey your mother! Don't leave me! I'll die without you!
But a lot of people grew up on this movie, and as a kid I used to love it just as much as I loved Nightmare Before Christmas and The Corpse Bride. Coraline is a movie that always fascinated me, especially as I got older and looked back on it more. As a kid, it fascinated me because it was a mix of scary, interesting, and funny. And
we made a deal. Zip it.
those reasons still go today. But as I get older, I can look back and appreciate the production and behind the scenes, the same as other movies, but stop motion is just amazing to watch and learn and try to understand. A lot of movies from the 2000s, and especially early 2010s, still come up often, and outside of discussion, these movies will always hold their popularity because of this digital age where not much is left forgotten. And as long as those edits of these movies and shows are created, there will always be that cult following. Though we aren't here to talk about how amazing these movies are, so what are we talking about? Coraline is a mysterious movie in its plot, as numerous elements can be questioned, and you can really decide whatever you want about how this movie begins and ends throughout the near 2-hour runtime. A very set plot that still allows your own sense of wonder and thinking for what you want. If you don't want to think about it, well, guess what? They do it for you as well. But I want to think. I really want to think about this right now. I want to mention now that I'm going to assume you have a general understanding of Coraline already, or at least have watched it or know of it by now. Usually you should. If you haven't watched this movie, do it right now. You won't regret it. It's an amazing film. If you don't have an hour and 45 in you to watch this whole movie, then try out this video by Lord Recap. It's a good catch me up. I won't be talking about the book much. I might use tiny tidbits of information, but we're mainly focused on the movie, though you should read the book as well, it's good. Anywho, one of the most discussed theories for Coraline is, did she ever actually escape the Beldam's world? Following Coraline beating the other mother in her world, escaping home, and then beating her again in the real world, we end up at a friend and family gathering with our suddenly better now parents in the garden that is conveniently shaped like the other mother's face, and the fucking cat vanishes behind the sign.
Wait a minute. You saved Keith David before me?
I passed by him on the way out.
These two big events are some of the main correspondence from people that this world is not right and that the Beldam has probably tricked Coraline again. Even more than this, how does Coraline go to sleep in the other world and then wake up in the real world? Why is the garden shaped like the Beldam? Why do the parents act differently suddenly at the end? Why can Keith David disappear behind a signpost? We'll figure it out. Let's talk about the world travel firstly. Throughout the movie, we witness Coraline travel through the door to get to the other mother's world. That's a given. It's in the fucking poster. This happens several times where she enters and exits through the door. Though how can she go to sleep in the other world and wake up in the real world suddenly? It must be a simulation. I don't think so. Here's a couple ideas that I have for this to explain her travel. We know the Beldam has the ability to control her world's looks and manipulate it as she pleases. We even watch the house regenerate in real time when Coraline walks around the other world and ends up back there again.
How can you walk away from something and still come back to it?
Walk around the world,
as the cat describes. This is also used as the evidence that the real world is simulated after the first time. Though to me this doesn't confirm the fake real world at all. If there exists a white void in the other world and the house is made up on the spot, that means it's probably not constantly there. Like rendering into a game, you can suppose whenever Coraline starts crawling through the tunnel that the other world is now generating. While this isn't explicitly stated that this is happening, we don't see it, but it could be. The Beldam might not have enough energy to hold the world together long enough, so she sends Coraline home in her sleep to have time to regenerate. Idea 2, which I like more. The Beldam is just playing the long game. We know for a fact that the other mother can control real-world objects, as she does with the Coraline doll that is used to lure her into the door the first time. So why wouldn't she just drag Coraline in, kicking and screaming, and take her eyes and eat her? That's a book reference, by the way. It's easy to know why. This is a game, and cheating doesn't come with satisfaction.
Why don't we play a game? I know you like them.
Everybody likes games.
How can you feel accomplished in winning something when you cheated your way to win? We know Beldam loves her games because the cat tells Coraline in the tunnel.
Challenge her then. She may not play fair, but she won't refuse. She's got a thing for games.
The other mother wants to win Coraline in this twisted game, so she sends her home to unknowingly convince Coraline to come back. Why force Coraline into her world when she could just play with her and watch her come back on her own? That's the idea for this world travel situation that we'll run with for this theory. Now, about that garden. Coraline is very much a metaphor for appreciating what you have, whether it be your kids and spending time with them, your parents even when they're busy, or just anything that you have with you. Coraline feels mistreated in her world. Her parents are a little neglectful and don't give her the attention they should. So when she goes to the other world, the other mother feeds on that. Makes everything about her. A cake, a room, a fun dad, a fun mom, and a garden shaped like her to show that she is seen. While this works in the other world, another question comes up as to why it's the Beldam's face in the real world. Well, the Beldam is old. It's given that since Coraline is her first chance at food in a while, that she needs Coraline to live on. Her last chance. Her age is really what I believe the garden to be about, a symbol of her decades or centuries of waiting for another chance. She's so old that it's possible the Beldam lived in that house, henceforth why the garden is shaped like her, or why the fucking door in their house leads to the other world. And yeah, that's all I got. Another bullet point on how Coraline never escaped asks why the parents act so differently. For me, I feel like this is probably the easiest explained point, though I almost bet you'll disagree with me with how I see this change. I've already mentioned how this movie and its original book are just trying to tell you to appreciate what you have. After all, Coraline's appreciation leads her to leave to the other world, as Coraline's parents, while not as attentive as you would expect for raising an 11-year-old, still show they care about her. The change in the parents in the final scene should be seen less as, why are her parents being better parents now? This must be fake. And to me, it is more that Coraline learned to appreciate her parents, plus her friends, and the world that she lives in. And that's why you think it's so weird. Though, if you don't like that theory, trust me, there's a million other explanations for why they're better parents suddenly that you can find online. Please, go ahead. Oh, this is gonna take so fucking long. I'm speedrunning this section. The cat stated when Coraline and him talked outside the house that he comes and goes as he pleases despite the Beldam's hatred for him.
It's a game we play and tries to keep me out. But she can't, of course. I come and go as I please.
We watch him teleport in and out and around the other world. The argument comes that he never does this in the real world, so that means that they are in the other world. They're in a simulation. Coraline lost. Coraline's dead. I know I've made a couple of bullshit claims, but this one I just don't get. I get that we don't see it happen on screen, but that means because we don't see him travel, it's not confirmed. But we don't not see him travel, which means it's still not confirmed. Shit, you can even take the final scene on the sign as just a demonstration that the cat can travel through that world, which is what I'm running with. I wouldn't call this theory debunking, but more of my perspective on why the Coraline never escaped theory doesn't work. After trying to figure this all out and put my perspective, opinions, and ideas on it, I believe Coraline escaped. Even outside of these theories, the movie is following the same keynotes of the book it's adapting, to just appreciate what you have and to beat the shit out of some weird demon kaiju thing. While the book and movie are different, they can choose to adapt their story differently. I don't think they do by that much, but the book is by far a much, much darker experience in the movie, but we're not talking about that right now. The beauty of this masterpiece of a movie is that you can choose to agree or disagree, investigate it yourself, and come up with your own theory. I love reading these theories, even if I don't like some of them, because they're super interesting. And if this keeps the movie alive for years and years to come later, that's fine by me. Thanks for coming by to watch this. While this is different from what I usually post, I will be posting another normal gaming video very soon after this. This was just fun, and I felt like it. Though if you liked it, I might do more. Shit, even if you don't like it, I might do more.